cheated on me. I never thought, that I have a baby, but
So you stepped up as a dad to do the right
yes,
thing.
I did the right thing.
And
Yes.
for the past 4 years, you've been there for Tamari.
At 48, I had the baby, and it's like my world is turned upside down. Every time we argue, she says she ain't mine.
Oh, she tells you.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, you are the father.
Mr. Hoffman came to the court to solve a 30-year-long mystery regarding his biological son.
Mr. Hoffman, you are desperate to solve a 30-year mystery and finally find out if Mr. Wolf is your long-lost son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you claim to have had a sexual relationship with his now-deceased mother, but lost contact with her when Mr. Wolf was very, very young.
Yes, Your Honor.
Things turned up when a couple of days ago, Mr. Wolf received a text about someone claiming him as his biological son.
You say you have no memories of Mr. Hoffman. I mean, you spent your entire life from childhood to boyhood to manhood thinking another man was your father. Only months ago, you received a message on social media stating that Mr. Hoffman believes he is your dad.
So what exactly happened that tore the father-son apart?
Mr. Hoffman, explain to the court what happened 30 years ago.
My older late sister had introduced me to Mr. Wolf's mother, but at the time I was an over-the-road truck driver, so I was gone a lot. I never knew that she had gotten pregnant. My older sister had informed me that Mr. Wolf's mother had a baby and claimed that I was the father.
His life had been fraught with darkness due to the question mark on his father's name. Such a poor guy.
Mr. Wolf, did you ever hear of this man's name growing up?
No, Your Honor. There's always been a question mark there. I mean, the lifestyle I lived, it left me almost without any emotion of not having a dad around.
He met his son about 25 years ago when his mother abandoned him.
Last time I seen him, he had just turned 5 years old. Me and my wife lived in Nevada, and we went to California to visit my older sister for Christmas. We arrived at her house, and Mr. Wolf and his younger brother were at my sister's, and his mother had left them there for 3 weeks and never contacted.
Some cozy and blissful moments.
After we brought him back to Nevada, he was very proud of his bed. I built him a bed, his
You
own day
did?
bed, and he was very proud of that. He bragged to all the people who worked with my wife at the restaurant. My daddy built me my own bed. He had his own bedroom, and
So this sounds amazing. Like, it sounds like you were having the time of your life, and so was he.
Let's uncover what transpired and how he lost him.
What happened? How did you lose him?
we got a call a couple months later from my older sister that the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department came to her home. They threatened me with a warrant for interstate flight and kidnapping of a minor.
Really?
I told him that no matter how long it takes, I'm gonna find him. And I hope it proves positive because there's some place missing.
His auntie finally located him. A moment of joy began.
Message, hi James, my name is Helen. I believe I'm your aunt. Your father has been looking for you for 25 years. You look just like our family. What a message to receive. And what were your thoughts when you read this?
It felt good.
Damn, both are down to ride together for life. Straight up heart-melting moment in the court.
Your Honor, I've never really grown up with a father in my life, so it's important to me that I don't let him down for as of today and whatever future we may have left. I just don't want to let him down. Try to make it an effort.
Here comes the results. Sadness flies away on the wings of time.
In the case of Hoffman v. Wolf, pertaining to whether Mr. Clayton Hoffman is the biological father of James Wolf, it has been determined by this court that Mr. Hoffman, you are his father.
Some serious cheating accusations got this couple all up in court trying to clear up their messy infidelity drama.
Mr. Jones, you claim that after 48 years of trying to become a father, your dream became a reality. But that initial excitement turned into a nightmare as your wife admitted that she had been unfaithful. You now believe 4-year-old Tamari is not your biological child, but will be crushed if the DNA results are negative. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's peep how his crib's been since he got hit with paternity denial.
Tell me what your household has been like due to paternity denial.
Your Honor, my household been upside down. I'm sleeping on the couch. Your Honor, I never said nothing, but I always had some type of doubt. Ever since I found out she cheated, I always had doubt. I never
And you haven't said
I never
anything.
said nothing, but I look at her and I'm trying to see me. I'm trying to see me in her.
And so you stepped
So
up
you don't
as...
see you in her?
Sometimes.
What? Sometimes the baby is his and sometimes not. Are dudes trying to play hide and seek?
I thought that he knew, because he never brought this up until a little while, like a couple of months ago. I mean,
that he didn't feel Tamari was his child.
Yes, that's what I was under the impression of.
He alleged that she had been unfaithful and he was incapable of having children.
She cheated on me. I never thought, that I have a baby, but
So you stepped up as a dad to do the right
yes,
thing.
I did the right thing.
And
Yes.
for the past 4 years, you've been there for Tamari.
I ain't
But
yet.
the truth is, as you look at this beautiful baby, every day you're studying her features going,
right.
I don't see me.
Right. At 48, I had the baby, and it's like my world is turned upside down. Every time we argue, she says she ain't mine.
Oh, she tells you.
So, here she is narrating the honest story of being unfaithful.
I'm gonna be totally honest. Yes, I did tell him, but that was in the heat of the moment. I did, mess up in the past around this time of conceiving, and I'm very ashamed, but I really don't believe that another man could just, I know it takes one time, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that another man just randomly can just overpower my husband's sperm.
Unexpected pregnancy made him doubt. That was an unwanted surprise for him.
You find out your wife is pregnant, and what goes through your mind?
I couldn't believe it. I didn't think I could have a baby at that age. I was 48 years old.
So you didn't think you could even produce a baby at 48 years old?
No, because my lifestyle, and I was in the street hanging out, doing a lot of things, and I thought maybe,
Oopsie, he brought up a sexual timeline in the courtroom.
So you have a sexual timeline where you basically say you lost your virginity in 1981 and you've had 33 years of an active sex life and no one has ever gotten pregnant until 2014,
Yes, Sean.
which is your wife. You're saying, I've never impregnated anyone.
nobody never told me.
The results finally came in.
In the case of Jones versus Jones, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jones, you are the father.
It's reprehensible to deny paternity out of spite, but things like this are what bring you to paternity court.
Mr. Cohen, you say your wife brought another man into your home and had sex with him under your roof.
Yes, Your
You claim your trust has been shattered and you're enduring the ultimate betrayal of not knowing whether or not Kyrie is your son. DNA results will determine the fate of your marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's know about the current status of marriage from baby mama.
Right now, I'm trying to save my marriage because we are on the verge of divorce. I want to prove to him that he is the father of our 1-year-old son. We started dating, we've been together for 7 years, married for 3, and I just really want to prove to him that he is the father of our 1-year-old son.
And what made Mr. Cohen doubt about little boy's paternity?
Mr. Cohen, how did you find out your wife was cheating?
In April, me and Jasmine, we broke up. We said we was gonna be done with each other for good. We were still living under the same roof in the same house. Going into May, we began to have sex again, all that good stuff. I went through Jasmine's phone. Her phone was locked, so I had to get in that phone.
So after tiresome hard work, he snuck into her phone, and the phone puked out all the truth.
She was asleep at the time. I put her finger on the phone. I decided to check messages, everything. I was like, oh, my wife's not cheating no more. We're about to be happy. I opened up the notes, and I seen my name at the top. I clicked on the note, and there was 2 other names under my name. I instantly realized that was the people Jasmine had been intimate with.
The detective role hit him hard enough to earn him the moniker Inspector Gadget from Judge Lauren.
So then you go to Instagram and what happened?
I went to Instagram, I typed in the guy's name, and his name popped up first. I clicked on that picture, and it was the guy.
How do you know it was the guy?
I went into his DMs, and I was like, you're having a baby, sir? He was like, no, I only slept with her 1 time.
I was already pregnant when I slept with him.
What an incredible excuse for cheating on someone.
We took our lunch break. He came back to the house and we had sex. But I was already pregnant and he knew that I was already pregnant.
But we were not having sex, Your Honor. her during our breakup, which was in April during her conception.
And I had sex with him in May, so that's impossible for him to be my child's father, okay? To be fair, I was getting him back. That's all that was. He was cheating.
Some really good schooling from Judge Lauren Lake.
You all are young people, and having a baby and becoming parents is one thing. Trying to navigate marriage is a different thing. So both of you have very serious issues that you need to talk about, or we'll end up here again.
Time for the results.
Mr. Cohen, you are the father.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
You can stand with your wife, you can stand with your husband. I'll tell you, some of the best life lessons come from the hugest mistakes. That's just the way it goes.
Miss West rolled up to the court after wondering for 30 years if Mr. Johnson is her biological father.
Ms. West, you say for more than 30 years you've wondered if Mr. Johnson is your biological father. Now, you admit you're hoping today's DNA results will provide you with the answer to a question that has haunted you your whole life. Now, Mr. Johnson, you claim Ms. West's mother was married to another man and you believe he could be her biological father.
So why, after 30 years, does she consider Mr. Johnson her father?
Your Honor, when I was 12 years old, my mother came running up the stairs shouting, "Your father just died. He had a heart attack." One evening, my mother called me and I got on the phone and it was Mr. Johnson. She told me it was my uncle. Of course, in my 12-year-old mind, I'm thinking, no, you dirty old man, I don't want to come see you.
Okay, so she's claiming that her uncle is most probably her father. That's a 2-in-1 roll.
I was getting dressed to go meet him. She told me this was not your uncle, it was your father.
But Mr. Johnson had no idea about his very own daughter.
You knew nothing about Ms. West up until this point.
No, I didn't. It started that Miss West's mother and I had a relationship one summer. Her and her husband was having problems. We fell in love with each other, and I was supposed to go and pick her up for our date. I get to the house, they said she was gone. And I hadn't heard from Miss West since Miss West's mother until I met my daughter.
And her mother didn't take her to meet her father. That's so unfair.
You are hopeful he's your biological father. You do have doubts.
I do have doubt. The day that my mom took me, she actually didn't take me to meet Mr. Johnson. She took me to his sister. I had never met her before, and later on I found out it was Mr. Johnson's mother. And she just examined my hand. She was like, "I'll let you know if you're a Johnson or not."
What? Please explain this hand examination part.
She examined my hand and then she walked away. I didn't see her.
And did she give you a result?
No. And then his sister took me to meet him, and that's how him and I met.
We can believe this all.
You know, it never was settled in my spirit. Like I said, we just buried who I thought was my father, and then before he can get in the ground good, I found out this was my father. But just the way everything happened, you know.
So since you were 12 years old?
Yeah.
Is Mr. Johnson on your birth certificate?
No, ma'am, and I have evidence here.
There's another man listed as father.
Yes.
So at this point, what kind of relationship do they possess?
It was a whirlwind in the beginning,
Yeah.
but now, you know, God has really transformed both of our lives, and he's a respectful pastor now, and I love him.
And it's the time for the results of a 30-year-long search.
Mr. Johnson, you are her father. That's wonderful. I can see on your face you're so happy, right?
I just feel joy.
Mr. Muhammad showed up in court to prove he was the daddy of the defendant's baby girl.
Mr. Muhammad, you are here to prove that you are the father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Brooklyn. You claim the only reason she is denying paternity is because she wants to be in a relationship with the other man. Is that correct?
How could she be that smug?
Ms. Walton, you say you were secretly cheating on Mr. Muhammad and had sex with the other man almost every day of the month, and there is no way Mr. Muhammad is Brooklyn's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So why was he certain, even after getting a confession, of being cheated on?
First of all, I would never let another man raise my child. I was always raised to do the right thing, always raised to be a stand-up gentleman. I know take care of all my children. You can look at Brooklyn now, see my face features, everything. I'm here today to prove today that I am the father.
Both were having relationships, but with different people. Okay, now that's talent.
What was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Muhammad around the time Brooklyn was conceived?
The nature of our relationship was Anwar was already having an affair with another woman before he had moved in with me. While he was having his affair, I was having my affair also.
Oh, so you all were together but both having affairs?
Yes.
So Mr. Mr. Muhammad denied the charges and said that her boy toy was no one but her cousin.
She told me that this gentleman was her cousin. I didn't think nothing of it.
She told you the other guy was her cousin?
Was her cousin.
That's not true, Your Honor. He's
I
always
know-
known this guy.
I know.
You're saying you were in a relationship when Brooklyn was conceived?
No, we was not in a relationship. We were just living together.
And you have an older child together, am I correct?
Yes.
Even Judge Lauren Lake couldn't understand her series of lies.
Honestly, I keep saying to myself, what reason does she have to make up this lie? Like, you've got one baby with the man, so you're stuck with him. What benefit is it to you to say the other man is your child's biological father unless you really believe that?
I believe it in my heart that he is the biological father.
Okay, so this was the reason behind the lying.
She gave
Plus,
Brooklyn.
the other man, he will be more financially helpful. He'll be more of a father to her.
Your Honor.
And he will be the man that will stand up to take care of his child.
You've decided that this other man is going to take care of Brooklyn better than Mr. Muhammad.
Yes.
So do you want to be with this other man too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now it makes sense.
Now,
Here, it was revealed what we all wanted to know so badly.
Have you started that relationship?
No.
Why?
He's married, for number one.
I'm
my last
sitting up
name.
here trying to figure out what's holding them back.
She-
a whole wife.
oh, why hold him back?
Ridiculous! She gave her baby girl Mr. Muhammad's last name just because she didn't have any other option.
She gave Brooklyn my last name.
I gave Brooklyn his last name.
Because it's my baby.
You wanted your daughters to have the same last name because you definitely couldn't give her the other man's last name. So then your only option was to give her just your last name, so you didn't want her to get teased.
Right.
Things are just going in circles. Time to square it off.
Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes. I told you. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.